So hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another thrift store prepper video, and this is week 2 of our food build, and we did a little $20 top up. I stopped off at the Dollarama close to where I work yesterday before I started my shift, and I had a $20 allowance that I was going to spend, and that's what I did. I popped in and out 5 minutes, grabbed a few items, and with the tax it comes to $21 in change. So no further ado, let's have a little look what we've got inside. We'll have a quick rundown on what we've got. So first of all, we've got ourselves some Mario's beef. There we go, 3 cans of Mario's corned beef, and we've got another 2 cans of the luncheon meat. Again, you know, for $1.50, this is a 340 gram tin. It comes with a, you know, it's got some goodness in it, a lot of not so goodness, but you know, we're talking about putting together emergency food, and whatever the emergency may be, if it's just you're out of work, or you know, the undead have started rising from the graves and have decided to feast upon the flesh of humanity in order to sustain their undead lifestyle. Who knows? But you know, whatever you're prepping for, it doesn't matter. And we're trying to prep on a budget, and we're trying to prep using, you know, the dollar store and other thrifty outlets. So, you know, our luncheon meat's $1.50 a can. We did find it for a few cents cheaper in the no frills, but I ran to the Dollarama close to my work for convenience, and part of the purpose of this project is to show how, you know, you can easily prep if you just set yourself, you know, my $20 and 15 minutes aside each week. You can certainly put some stuff together like we have been, and if you've been following from the start, where, you know, we've made quite a lot of progress for a few dollars spent and not really much time and effort. So this is the corned beef, and this is you know, 198 grams, so roughly 200 grams. It's made in Brazil, comes with its own little can opener thing, or it did come with a can opener. This one seems to have lost it somewhere, Jesus, but that's not a problem. We could just probably utilize the other one or find a way to open it one way or another. So these were $2 a piece, a little more than the luncheon meat, but it's given us a variety. We've got a lot of pork products, and I think with what we have in the haul already, this is going to bring us up to maybe 6 cans of luncheon meat, and then we've got another 3 cans of here. So if you kind of average a can per day, that's over a week's worth of food there just for some cans. And obviously, you know, if you can cut these in half, chop them up, use them in many different ways. You know, if you're preparing, you know, just doing some groceries, and you're preparing just paycheck to paycheck, feeding yourself, you know, a can of Mario's corned beef here and some potatoes and a couple of eggs, you can make yourself some corned beef hash. Potatoes and eggs are a great source of protein and nutrients that are very inexpensive. If you are doing, you know, like a weekly grocery shopping, not necessarily putting together an emergency food supply like we are doing there, like we are doing here. So canned products for me are always going to be preferential over certain dried products, certainly things like rice, like pasta. If we're, you know, access to water is limited and we're in a power out kind of situation, there's no energy or power going on to the stoves and refrigerators, you're going to have a hard time trying to cook things like pasta and certainly rice, which is difficult for some people to cook, even with all the amenities available to us in modern living. So meat items, canned items, good things to be having. So what else do we have? It wouldn't be a Dollarama trip without good old ramen noodles. So we picked up 5 ramen noodles for $1. And so far we're still under $10 at the moment. This is 6, 9. This is actually $10 exactly. So for $10, look, you can get yourself 5 cans of meat, and you can get yourself 5 ramen noodles. Now, if you were, you know, like a student, or somebody who's living in a rented room and doesn't have much money to spend on food, a pack of these noodles works out at 20 cents a piece, and your can of luncheon meat is $1.50. So even if you just cooked up your ramen noodle and you cooked up your luncheon meat, this entire can has 6 servings according to the guidelines here, and 6 servings is going to give you what, 36 grams of protein. It's going to give you 660 calories, nearly 70 grams of fat, which is quite a lot, but you know, hey, if you're surviving, then you can burn the fat off if this is the only thing you're doing. This does got a lot of sodium, but there you go. That is your main thing in your ramen. I think it has about 400 calories, if I'm right. I'm not sure if I can remember this rightly, but you know, that's going to give you the whole can in one ramen. That's 1100 calories around thereabouts. So, and that's, you know, less than $2. Not exciting, but it's gonna fill you up, and it's gonna give you a lot of what you need. So the other items I've got, let's have a look in the bag here, are raisins. And you know, once upon a time, human beings were hunter-gatherers, and we lived on nuts and berries, and these were things that were part of our daily diet. These come in at $1. There you go, $1. We got 225 grams there, so for $2 we got 450 grams of raisins, and you know, you can eat these on their own. We've already got the minute oats, so we could throw a handful of these in with our oatmeal. We've got a big bag of nuts from the Dollarama the other week for $4. I think it was a kilo, 900 grams or kilograms. So we can mix the nuts and the raisins and make a trail mix. And that leads us to the next item. So I'm actually going to move the big bag out of the way, push this to the back, and we're going to come back to one of my super prepping items, trail mix. And again, going with the hunter-gatherer, eating nuts and berries, I always try to get some nuts into my not necessarily my prepping pantry, but I certainly get some nuts into my diet each week one way or another, and usually via trail mix. It's one of my actual weaknesses. I can sit and eat a big bag of trail mix until it's all gone, and unfortunately that's what happened with the first bag of trail mix I bought for the food prep. If anybody can recall back to the first video, we bought a big kilogram of trail mix from the No Frills, which come in at just under $10. But for $8, if you buy 4 bags of these, you know, you've got 250 grams of trail mix here. That comes in at $8 for the kilogram. And why I think these bags are fantastic, because this is your ultimate and perfect MRE, or meal ready to eat. If you're not sure what MRE stands for, that's something that is often a military ration that they give to the troops when they're out in the field, so they got their food in daily rations with them, and it's generally meals that are designed that you can eat in the field, and they sometimes come with a flameless heater and stuff like this. But in terms of doomsday scenarios, and you've got no power, you've got no heat, you've got very little way to cook, this one bag here of trail mix is going to give you over 1100 calories. This is 250 grams, as we said, and here are the guidelines for 50 gram servings. So this has 5 servings, and if you add this entire bag and times all these by 5, you get 1100 calories, you get 35 grams of protein, you get 50 grams of, is that fiber? Of iron, sorry. You get 15 grams. Well, shit, I can't even bother to be doing math. But, you know, you times this by 5, this is going to give you your a lot of calories, a lot of protein, a lot of fiber. It's got some iron and calcium and other stuff in there, and it really is a perfect meal, and it's something I enjoy eating. So if I am in an emergency situation where I'm living off of my emergency food, at least I'm going to enjoy eating it, and it's not going to be stuff I don't like or never really eaten before, so that's not going to be very enjoyable. And if you are in an emergency situation, then food is going to be one of the few comforts that you may or may not have. So it's kind of nice to get things that you do enjoy and do eat daily. So that was it. That's what $20 has bought you. And you know, if I just had to live off this, as we said, this is 1100 calories for the entire bag. That if you split that in half, had a bag over 2 days, that's 8 days worth of food. Same thing with the lunch and meat. You can cut that in half or maybe into 3 and portion that out for as long as you needed to. And the same with the corned beef. That, you know, these things, it's not very much. It doesn't look a lot, but if you're in an emergency, then you would be trying to make things go as far as you could. Then these are all good items that you can supplement with one another, and try and give yourself a little bit of enjoyment from what you're eating. So that's what the week 2 $20 top up brought us. Not a great deal of food, but there's a lot of food there. And if we look in terms of weight, we've got, you know, nearly 2.5, maybe 3 kilograms of food. If I were to do the math and wake up, do the total calories and protein and such forth, there's a lot of stuff here. So, you know, the 4 bags of trail mix is going to give you 4,500 calories nearly, and this entire can is going to give you 660 calories. So I would guess that there's possibly 10,000 calories here if we were guesstimating and calculating accurately. We would get a proper figure, but roughly that's what I would say. So that's a lot of calories. And again, in emergency situations, certainly if we're in natural disasters or as I mentioned before, zombie apocalypse, calories count. So with all that being said, thanks for watching. This has been a shit video production for the Thrift Store Prepper.